You probably already know that more people have become millionaires through real estate than any other vehicle. But do you know what kind of real estate is the easiest and fastest to make your first million from? Hi, this is Aiden Wynn and welcome to my site. In this video, you will discover how to make a killing with pre-foreclosures. And I will expose my secret strategy that made me $4,583.33 per hour. And you will see how I did it with no money, no credit, no experience, and with a pile of debt. So let's first look at the foreclosure process in Canada. I've broken down the process into 6 steps. When a homeowner has missed their mortgage payment for 90 days, they will get a letter from the bank called a demand letter, basically saying that if they don't pay up, they will start the foreclosure process. If the homeowner still cannot make mortgage payments, then the lender or the bank will go to court with a corporate petition and get an order nisi, which is a court order that allows the owner a redemption period of 6 months, in most cases, to either pay off the mortgage, sell their property, or get their mortgage payments back up to date. If the homeowner still cannot resolve their mortgage within their redemption period, then the bank or the lender will go to court and get a court order called an order approving sale. And this is when the bank takes possession of the property, which gives them the right to sell it as their own. They list it on the multiple listing service, and then it is sold by an agent or at a court auction. So what is the difference between a foreclosure and a pre-foreclosure? Well, with a foreclosure, the property is listed on the MLS and anybody in the public can buy this property or make an offer. And if you didn't know, if you're buying a public foreclosure, and even if your offer is accepted by the bank, it has to be approved by a judge. So if the judge thinks that you're buying the property for too low of a price, he can reject that offer. Also, you can be outbidded by anyone who shows up at the courtroom on that sale date. And even if he or she bids $1 more than your offer, you will lose that deal. And what's more, you need to have cash on hand to buy these public foreclosure properties. Statistically, only 15% of pre-foreclosures ever become foreclosures. So you can imagine how much opportunity there are in pre-foreclosures, because there are a large number of properties that you can buy way below market value that are not made public. So how do you make money with pre-foreclosures? Simply put, you make money by helping sellers avoid foreclosure. You make money by creating a win-win situation where everybody benefits. And here's why. There are costs with a foreclosure. The bailiff is paid $6,000 to evict the property owner. Lawyers are paid $6,000 to $9,000 to process the foreclosure. And then there are agent commissions, usually 7% of the first $100,000 plus 3.5% of the balance. So for a $500,000 house, there are commissions of $21,000 or more plus taxes. So total costs of a foreclosure can be around $36,000 or more. There are other bad things that happen for the seller. The seller ruins their credit. The foreclosure will stay on their credit report for the next 7 years, which makes it extremely difficult for them to get a mortgage within that time period. They lose their equity in their home. And they lose their home. They will have to find another place to live and have to move to another house. So by helping sellers avoid foreclosure, you save them from all this bad stuff. And when you buy a pre-foreclosure, you would have saved $36,000, which would have otherwise been added onto the price of a public foreclosure. So next, I'm going to show you not only how to save money, but actually make a lot of money from pre-foreclosures as well. So what is the best time to get foreclosures? Well, as you can see, with pre-foreclosures, you're getting property that's way below market value, and you're getting it before the public or even realtors know about them. Secondly, when you make an offer, it does not have to be approved by the judge. You cannot be outbidded in court by anyone, and you don't need to have cash to buy the property. In fact, you can do it even with no money. There are other benefits. The owner, in some cases, can stay in the home. They can have their mortgage payments paid up to date. They can save their credit, and at the same time, you're making $15,000 to $100,000 per deal. That sounds good, doesn't it? So you're probably asking, how do you do it? Well, you don't need money, you don't need credit, and you don't need experience. You just need some insider information, and you need to do a little bit of work. That's right, there's work involved. However, you can do this part-time, even 4 to 8 hours a week. And you will see exactly how to do this in the next video inside. So why do foreclosures happen in the first place? Here are some common reasons. Could be disease, death, divorce, financial problems or job loss, partnership disagreements, or poor management. So what happens is that these problems become so big for the seller that they rather sell quickly at a fire sale price rather than go through these problems. So let's get down to business, and I'll show you how I made $4,583.33 per hour. And I did this by helping the homeowner. Here's an example of an actual deal that I did. This property was worth $295,000 at the time, market value. The owner had a mortgage owing on the property for $180,000 that he owed the bank. And this is a property that I found from the pre-foreclosure listings that you can get access to. In this case, this property owner had a serious tenant problem. He had drug addicts and he had homeless people living in the property, and he didn't know what to do with it. So I came to him. I offered him $180,000 just to pay off his mortgage. And after some negotiations, he finally agreed on the purchase price of $195,000. So once I got this agreement or contract with the seller for me to buy it at $195,000, I brought in a more experienced investor who had the capital and who had the financing. Then I assigned the contract to her for $27,500 profit. This took me 7 days to finalize, from the point that I found the property to the point that I got paid. And in actual hours that I worked to do this, it was only 6 hours. And I did this with no experience. Why? Is because I found a more experienced investor who had many years of experience, and she knew exactly what to do with the property. This required me no money because I didn't purchase the property. I didn't have to have any credit because I didn't have to qualify for any mortgage. I'm not buying a property here. I'm just assigning the contract to somebody else who wants to buy it. And I did this basically by becoming the problem solver. I created a win-win situation where the seller got out of his problem. He paid off his mortgage, so he didn't have to go into foreclosure. He got rid of all of his tenant problems. And the investor, she made a large profit because she turned around and sold the property for $280,000. So she made quite a lot of profit there. And I made profit. I made $27,500 as an assignment fee that the investor was more than willing to pay me because she made so much money from flipping the house. So when I divided $27,500 with the 6 hours of actual work that I did, it worked out to $4,583.33 that I made per hour. So if you like this video, I have more videos to send to you. Just enter your email on this webpage and I will do it for you. You also get insider access to more money-making information and insider tactics on how to profit with pre-foreclosures. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on the inside.